Welcome to the Golden Nuggets. This podcast is brought to you by WordPress. Ever wonder why some websites always pop up first? That's SEO magic at work. SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization. And if your website isn't up there, you're missing out big time. Here's the deal. Every day your website stays hidden is the day your competitors grab your customers. It's not just about being online, it's about being seen. At WordPress, we turn your website from invisible to irresistible. Simple, effective SEO that gets you noticed, gets you customers, and gets you ahead. Don't let your website be the internet's best kept secret. Make it a customer magnet. Ready to be found? Visit wordpress.com/search. Let's make your website the star of the show this year. Don't miss out.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Golden Nuggets podcast. With me, I have Ami, and we are still with Brother Muhsin, and we're supposed to talk about all the errors and challenges.
Errors. That will be an interesting topic.
Yes.
Yeah. Have you ever encountered error that lead to perhaps a patient passing away?
Okay, not to the extent, but yes, of course, every nurse have made an error at least once.
Yes.
Right. Nurses are humans. Even doctors have made errors also.
Yeah.
In just my first year of nursing, I've made countless errors. There's this system called the incident report system, right?
Yeah.
I filled up all the categories: medication error,
Okay.
patient abscondment, loss of property,
Patient abscond.
loss of property, sharp injury.
Oh.
What else? These are the main four ones.
These are the four in your first year.
Yeah.
Wow.
And yeah.
I mean, okay. Let's talk about abscondment. Okay. Abscondment basically means patient running away.
Yeah.
How is that your fault?
Exactly.
I was just about to ask you the same question.
Right. I mean, there have been instances whereby I even have to walk and chase the patient and tell them to don't go.
Yeah.
Then something just clicked me like, why am I doing this? And this patient, he comes in only for like a short stay trip, right? He comes in, free food, served by beautiful people around you, good night's sleep. The next day he wants to go back to God knows where, right? But we have to please don't go. Why?
Yeah.
So I came to a point whereby I don't care. You want to leave, you leave. It's okay. I don't mind doing the report.
Okay.
I'd rather take care of all my sick patients rather than go and waste my time chasing after you. Yeah.
Okay. How did your nurse manager react to that? And was this the conversation that you had with the patient and made him absconded?
No.
Okay.
No, but I have mentioned to a few patients. They said, I want to go back. Go. I'll just tell the doctor, patient don't want to stay. If you want to keep him, you talk to him. I'm not going to talk to him anymore because we all know what he's here for.
Yeah.
And I tell the same reason to my nursing. Luckily for me, I have a very good and understanding nursing manager. I told her, I don't want to waste my time taking care of him. I have more people who needs me.
Yeah. I mean that if I'm your nurse manager, I will also say, okay, that makes sense. Go ahead. Yeah.
But you still have to write the incident report.
I have to write. I'm happy to write the report rather than begging this guy to not go.
You know whenever we need to write an incident report, usually means our promotion, our performance grading will be affected.
Yes.
How is it that you, despite having this, you still get A for your grading?
Actually, the perception that a lot of people have, right? Like, if a patient fall and all that, we are accountable for it, and it affects our grading and all. But actually, it's not true. At the end of the day, that's why your report must be concise. And if it ends with you being negligent, then yes, that's your performance affected. But if it's not, if it's a non-preventable thing, and it's not your fault, then I can testify to that. I've always gotten A every single year.
perhaps I can share with you one of my experience.
Sure.
And then you tell me from your point of view, if you were the nurse manager, or perhaps now you are the adjunct lecturer, a CI, what would you have done for me? Okay. For my PRCP, if you guys don't know, it's the final attachment for all nurses before they graduate. For my PRCP, the 5th last day of my PRCP, finally I get to be a junior. Okay. So what I had to do is, I had this patient is a private ward. I had to take care of this patient who they say that could not pass motion for more than a week. 1 week. About 70-year-old man, but the gait is still steady. Can walk by himself. Okay. Finally, he said that he wants to go to the toilet. Then I say, okay, but I know that I need to collect his stool, because there needs to be some stool culture and investigation, right? He went to the toilet. I told him, okay, I need you to sit on this thing, the bedpan, because I need to collect the stool, okay, so that I can do whatever that needs to be done. He is Bangladeshi, but I know that he don't understand me, but I think sign language should be able to suffice. He said, okay. Then he told me to get out from the toilet, because he don't want to be disturbed, because he said that if I'm there, he cannot shit. Okay. So what happened is that I left. Later on, he pulled the call bell. I went back in. This is in less than a minute. I went back in. Then I saw the bedpan is on the floor with a small stool over there in the bedpan. He says that he wants to continue. I say, okay. I told him the same thing. If anything, pull the call bell, I'll come in immediately. Okay. The sluice room, which is the room where we throw all the feces, the waste, is just opposite his room. Okay. The door is just opposite, facing each other. I went to the sluice room to collect the sample. After that, he pulled the call bell. This time, my SSN walked past, and then she went in, and then she shouted, "Ami, what happened?" Then I'm like, I was wondering what happened, because it all happens in less than a minute. I went back in. He was on the floor. Okay, all fours on the floor, and then he claims that his head hits the pole, which is like quite a distance away from him, and he say that he had a fall. Okay, but I know that he purposefully just sit down on the floor and then just pull the call bell. Okay. When of course we need to call the doctor to do the review. Doctor came, doctor review. Doctor don't see any bruising or anything. Doctor didn't even order for X-ray. Okay. So it's clear cut. You know his intention, right? Now, after that incident, I was like, I panicked, because I was going for an A for that attachment. But then I know that, for patient fall, we will definitely fail. Okay, this is what is being said to us in school. So I was worried about my grades, and then I talked to my CI. My CI told me she will talk to the school. Talked to the school, came back, told me you cannot. I won't let you fail, but you will get a D. Okay. But to me, I feel it's unfair, because it just doesn't make sense. So what do you think you would have done as a nurse manager? Because after that, I also need to go counselling with the nurse manager. Nurse manager give me a mouthful, a earful, and then after that I go through different people and I hear so many things. Even with my preceptor also, I'm like, I just don't know how to answer. What would you have done as a nurse manager and also as a CI?
Okay, so from a nurse manager's point of view, yes, everything is about KPI. Right? Having a fall, it reflects badly on the ward, that sort of thing. So on the ward level scale, like it's like, damn, one fall, and they have to the report here, ding dong the ADN and all that. But then when you look at it, you're a student, right? And I'm managing students now. We cannot, when we always tell, hey, why don't you do, why you leave patient inside the toilet? Why? You cannot expect a student having the same kind of awareness and judgment as a 5-year-old staff nurse or a senior staff nurse. You can never expect that. And yes, perhaps it is a learning point for the student, for you, right? And we should not be traumatizing you and making you say, oh, you fall, you fail, no, you patient. You cannot do that. That's not learning, right? So what I will do is, yes, of course, you have to make sure the patient is safe. Yes, he said he fell, and it's subjective. There's no real proof that whether he fell or not, right? But do the right things. Make sure that he doesn't have any internal injuries and all that. So that's one. Settle the patient first, right? After that, yes, talk to you. So what happened? Okay, why did you leave the patient inside alone? So patient says he wants to be left alone, right? Which is understandable. And from your point of view as a student at that time, my patient he's independent, right? He has always been independent, right? So why not? And if he wasn't on fall risk precaution,
and his son was in the room,
so it all checks out, right? He is independent. He's not on fall risk. So
I mean 70-year-old is already fall risk lah, normal lah.
But there's a score for it,
correct.
right? And I don't think he fits the high fall risk or medium. Okay, if he has a fall risk tag, then there's something different. But like you say, the son is there. So I'm not taking any blame away from the student. Yes, there is some fault there due to your judgment as a student. Okay, again I emphasize as a student. But when nurse managers, when preceptors, when they judge this student, they judge based on what they
know,
what they will do, which is not fair at all. I mean, these staff nurses, they tend to forget they were once there.
Yes.
They were once blur.
Yeah.
You know, I'm also a CI now. When you see PRCP, I'm handling PRCP students now, right? And I know the kind of thing that they go through. And sometimes how they're judged and how they are marked is really not fair. It's really not fair.
Okay, Nuggets, this is a very, very important learning point. When you are building your business, there will always be 3 stages. The first one is the technical aspect, and then you have the managing aspect, and then you have the thought leadership. So he has just shared a very important thing. So you guys need to extract this yourself lah. It's not just meant for nursing only. That means in any working environment, industry you are in, as long as you're a manager, you must always remember that these people who are on the technical level, they are not at the same expertise level as you are, right?
And I think this can be said for businesses who are also dealing with clients, because clients will have the same expectation.
Definitely.
Yeah, because there's the reason why some clients engage you is because they lack that knowledge and they expect you to fill up the gap.
Correct.
And you cannot expect the client to have that same knowledge that you actually have.
So that's why most businesses, they have the education level where they actually teach them, the clients, and so on.
And I'm sure after the experience that Ami had, his perception of being a nurse already changed.
Yes,
definitely,
for sure.
And we want quality nurses, but if we are gonna judge our nurses like this,
or scare them using fear tactics,
scare them in this kind of environment, then who are you gonna blame when you say, nobody wants to be a nurse?
Yeah, that's true. If you were the health minister, how would you resolve the manpower issue right now?
Okay, so the thing is this: I have sat down with the previous health minister before.
Oh, okay.
There was once he met with nurses from different organizations and hospitals. So actually, when you look at the attrition rate in Singapore, actually it's low attrition, because if let's say you resign from NUH and you go to Ng Teng Fong, you are still within the industry, so they don't count it as an attrition, right? So the manpower is there. It's just that this manpower do not want to work in the hospital.
Okay, so they don't regard that as attrition rate.
Yeah.
So
if we want to say that there is lack of nurses, there are no lack of nurses in Singapore, but there is a lack of nurses in the hospitals.
But they don't solve that issue at the second part of the question, which is
how would you solve that issue? Hospitals be less toxic lah. This student just started out, don't be like that lah.
No, I think I think everybody plays a part. The schools, for example, just now Ami shared that perhaps if having a longer period of attachment may help, and I think it will definitely help. For them to be in the environment that they're going to be working in, put them in there longer and really expose them to these kind of things. This, no matter whatever amount of theory you teach, self-awareness and perception, it can't get taught in school. They have to be in the environment to experience it. That's one. Secondly, the hospitals, the nurse managers, the education department, they also have to manage the expectations of these students. Yes, they want the nurses to be tip top, all A students, blah blah blah, but come on, even in the education department, not all your nurse educators are the same level.
Yeah.
Everybody, anywhere, not just nursing, right? Everywhere.
Yeah.
Finance industry, whatever industry, not everyone has the same level of knowledge. Even if the same level of knowledge, they don't have the same level of judgment and perception. So if they put into account these human factors, I think there'll be more nurses who will still stay, right, and protect them from being abused by these patients, whereby people always say the patient is always right, which is to me a total crap. Okay, I've never believed in clients is always right.
Yes.
I've never believed in patients are always right.
If the patient right, they don't need to see the doctor. Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. I have fought with a few patients before.
So what are some of the challenges that that you can share?
Luckily for me, I have a good nurse manager, which a lot of people can't say that about their nurse managers.
Yes. Yeah. Correct. Yes. To all my past nurse managers, most of you suck. I'm sorry to say that, but most of you suck. You don't have management skills. You don't have. Some of you don't even have the knowledge. This is a shout out and a call out to you guys because yes,
he wants you guys to get better, technically.
The challenges, I mean, dealing with patients and patients' families are always never easy. But then again, I always try to put myself in their shoes, whereby if my mom or my dad is sick, how anxious will I be?
Yeah.
If I don't have any medical background, even a slight fever for a 70-year-old man, for me, it's already something urgent.
Urgent, fatal in your mind, right? You're thinking,
correct, yes.
Panicking.
My dad is in the hospital. The GP referring to the hospital. Why can't he just treat? Maybe it's something serious, right? So they're very anxious, and like again, I said, they will. The first person they see in the ward is the nurse, right? So, so they will lash it out on the nurses. But at the end of the day, if we know how to calm them down and all, actually it goes quite smooth, right? So it's something that I always try to teach my nurses. Okay, when your patient's family, especially when they come out very anxious and they're asking you for something, give them something. Don't just tell them, okay, ma'am, hold on. They will hold on.
Yes.
And how long do you think they're going to hold on for? 10 minutes? And then you cannot keep saying, wait, doctor coming. They cannot. Give them something, right? The most simplest of example is that if once the patient has come out from the emergency department, you just update the relative. Oh, your father in A&E, they have given him medications to manage the fever. All right, the bloods are all done. Okay, his white blood cell counts are high, so he might have an infection. Okay, but doctor have ordered some antibiotics in ED. We have to take his vital signs, his blood pressure is okay, and so forth. He's quite stable now. The doctors will be coming to see him in a while. For right now, he can't eat or drink, just in case if the doctors want to do any scan, he's already fasted for it. Right? So you're not giving them the whole picture. You're not giving them the diagnosis or whatsoever, but you're giving them something, telling them,
or at least the situation that would have kept me calm because I know what's happening.
Exactly. So that's what I'm trying to teach the nurses here. But a lot of the nurses are scared to do this.
Is it like communication issue that they have?
Perhaps.
Do they need to go to be trained?
No, actually, a lot of nurses, they have this knowledge, but they're just scared to say the wrong things because they are being controlled.
I see.
No, you don't update. You update wrongly. Later you say wrongly. Later the patient scold you. That kind of thing.
This fear have been going around. That's the reason why a lot of them are reserved.
Is it from like the start? Because just now Ami mentioned like when he was doing the internship, there was like a bit of fear mongering already.
Yes.
Right. So this is like a culture. So whatever I hear from you, right, how to make this whole thing better, is technically when you said environment. To me, when I extracted everything, it's just brand culture. Brand culture. Every hospital should have their own culture, working culture, how they want things to be. Right. Yeah. So like how some of you go and watch like my old videos like, hey, agency life cool. It's not lah, but it's like how you make it to be at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
think about like how a lot of people want to join Google and all, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because of their brand, how they show that if you join us, this is how the culture is going to be like and everything.
Yeah, the tech that you can use, explore, and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Again, whatever I'm saying now, I'm not saying that being a nurse is bad. And all
Yeah,
that,
for sure.
But I'm here sharing is because
Everybody needs to do their part.
and I love nursing. That's why I didn't left. That's why I'm still doing something that has to do with being a nurse, and I'm here to. Even my business now is about uplifting the image of nurses. Right? We don't just wipe asses.
Yes.
Right? We don't even work for the doctors. Okay, people tend to misunderstand that we work for doctors. We don't. We work alongside them. Yeah, it's just that the difference is they can prescribe medications, they can do surgeries. Okay, but for nurses, we can anticipate what's going to happen. Right? Even before the doctor come, I roughly 80% I know what the doctor's going to order. Everything's going to be prepared for them already. This actually most nurses know how to do this.
Perhaps one last question before we end part 2.
Cepat.
Yeah. Okay, so you mentioned that you love nursing a lot. Why did you decide to leave the hospital and start your own business?
Okay, so why I start and why I still remain in the healthcare industry and being a travel medicine nurse, for example, it's to, again, nursing is not just about working in the hospital, serving medication, changing patients, and all that. And I mean, yes, those are bedside care nursing, which is the fundamentals of nursing. But nursing, being a nurse, is so much more than that. We learn almost the same as what the doctors learn. We learn medications also. Yes, we are not as in-depth as the pharmacists, but the pharmacists don't learn how I wipe this person's buttocks, right?
Yeah.
We learn how to auscultate, use a stethoscope. No other healthcare professionals do it. Physios, they do and all. But when the doctors hear the lungs, we can also hear the lungs and know what's going on, right? So we are. There's a lot of skills that actually the doctors and other healthcare people don't like. We do it. Okay. And so when we go for advanced diploma, like for me, orthopedic train, I can read X-rays, I can read MRIs, I can read CT scans. Okay. Even now, if you come to me, if anything, I don't even need to see an X-ray to come out with a diagnosis for you. Right? With the symptoms you have, with the clinical presentations you have, I kind of know what you're having already, and I really can tell you what you do need to do. Yeah, so that's what being a nurse is all about. Nurses is not okay, change diapers, okay, serve diet, okay, serve medicine. No, being a nurse is so much more than that. Yeah, so that's why I'm going out to prove to people and that there's just so much more lah.
All right.
Okay. We'll take that as your answer. The last answer for part 2 is, I didn't realize that his time is almost up for part 2. So dive into the whole thing about working culture and so on. Alright guys, I hope you guys have managed to extract some golden nuggets from this part 2. Stay tuned for part 3. See you guys in the next one. Peace.